suddenly on a Saturday morning, we got notified that the head of Walt Disney Imagineering is no longer working at the company, and she would like to tell you all about it. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place. The news is hitting hot and heavy here for the Walt Disney Company, and we are here to talk about it. Vash, do you have any inclination of who is going to be the new head of Imagineering?
Well, apparently it might be an old standby, at least going by Barbara Bosa's final statement at the company right here. So that's
a very good point. Let's bring up this article. This from That Park Place here. Let's embiggen that a little bit. Walt Disney Imagineering president Barbara Bosa, you said, out after attempting to bring broader global perspective to the company. Maybe her name sounded like Bowser, and so they decided they didn't want to have brand confusion between Disney and DreamWorks. Sorry, Illumination. Walt Disney Imagineering president Barbara Bosa announced that she is done at Walt Disney Imagineering at the end of the month after she attempted to bring a broader global perspective to the company. Well, it's a very global company, so I'm not sure how you would do that. Bosa revealed she was done at Walt Disney Imagineering in a lengthy post on Instagram. She began, "Proudly building upon our extraordinary legacy, Imagineers are shaping a future that inspires humanity. As one of the global team of creators and storytellers, we immerse our guests in experience that make memories of a lifetime." That sounds good. Here we go. As a licensed architect, I was recruited by the Walt Disney Company to challenge the norm and bring broader global industry perspective and expertise. But, of course, she doesn't stop there. Joining Walt Disney Imagineering in June of 2020, I just want to encourage all of you to remember what was going on in the world in 2020. I truly believe humanity needed Disney more than ever.
What are you talking about?
The world was trying to understand the impact of it. And this is sure to get us demonetized here. So if you want to hit the like button, that would be great. If you want to support the channel, please do, as I bring up this wonderful string of text. Global pandemic, business disruption, stay-at-home orders, a reckoning on race, and the growing political divide. From here, Imagineers endure the pressure of talent reductions, unprecedented hyper-escalation on projects, political crosshairs, and the need to make life-changing decisions with their families around relocation from California to Florida.
All right. Whew. There's a ton there.
Yeah. Which one of those would you like to talk about, Vash? And please don't get the channel demonetized.
Okay, no. I won't. But just to go back a little bit a ways here, she says she was recruited specifically to challenge the norm. What necessarily norm had to be challenged here? This is the question, because WDI was already on the cutting edge of innovation and obviously brought so much to the table when it came to storytelling and immersive theming and so forth. So it's like, what norm had to be challenged? Well, it looks like the norm of, I don't know, the country,
excellence.
The norm of excellence. I mean, that's honestly the question I raised, because obviously we've seen the height of this company take a dark turn here in the last several years, and to much chagrin of not only us as people who are kind of in this space, who are, let's say, critical of Disney, right? But even the Pixie Dusters. This is why a lot of the Pixie Dusters were like, "Hey, you know what? See ya." Like it's good not to have you attached to this company anymore, because they've seen this decline. They've seen this kind of Gendler effect, because this is where Barbara Bosa actually came from, specifically.
Yes, please explain the Gendler effect, because that's something that only people very, very into the theme park space understand what Gendler is and how it has affected the rest of the industry.
Right. So she was the I want to say, I'm trying to get her exact title right here. I believe she was the co-managing director principal for Gendler Los Angeles. And Gendler is the most prestigious architectural firm in the world. I believe Lou Wasserman's Ghost quoted was saying that they did over $1 billion in business, creating such architectural landmarks all over the world, basically. But you can kind of see, this is the Gendler website right here, the kind of projects that they are most known for creating. Very forward-thinking designs in terms of the architectural space. But when it comes to immersive storytelling in a theme park space, these skills don't necessarily overlap. But we've seen this mentality brought to the theme park space, and it's kind of been horrible. You can see right here. Let's see. This is the beaches and cream that used to exist over there at Walt Disney World property. You can see the colors being used and some of the details being applied right here. And then now this is its reimagined state right here. Somebody who's been very critical on this point has been Mickey Views. You can see the lobby of the boardwalk right here with its classic furniture, and there's obviously a story that they're trying to go for. I believe it's like a 1930s pier, if I'm not mistaken. And you can see right here how they've changed it with
yes. And it now looks like
modern design.
And by the way, there's too many tables in this space. I just have to point that out.
Yes.
From a flow perspective. This looks like any hotel lobby that you might walk into that this is fine. This is not Disney. If people are expecting a better experience when they come to Disney, this isn't the aspect that I would put forward as, oh, you've got to go to Disney, because Disney has a kind of blue couches with a little bit of a curve, kind of in that modern rounded edges sort of style. That's not what Disney is. Disney is a timeless experience, and
right.
They're supposed to go above and beyond. And I'm going to use an architectural term that I should not use, but I'm going to say there's a little too much Bauhaus going on in the world right now. Even the local McDonald's is Bauhaus style. So when Gendler comes in and does things that remind me of that style, I'm not impressed with it. It's just, oh, okay, I guess this is the thing that we're going to be calling antiquated in about 10, 20 years.
Absolutely. You can see this reflected in major projects like the DVC Tower at the Polynesian, for example, right? What is Polynesian about this that's being set up next to these amazing, facades and architectural styling?
Looks like it's going to be the palm trees, and that's about it. And guess what? They got those all over Florida. My parents' house is not Polynesian style.
Right. So when you bring somebody like this on board, I think a lot of people were hesitant because of the background. It just doesn't necessarily scream Disney. She had no WDI experience prior to this, and yet she's the head of this division right here. And we have seen a marked decline of various projects over the years under her reign. Right. We've talked about the Toontown thing to death over here. We've also seen Tron and how maybe some decisions were made in order to keep this on pace, on budget, and everything. And well, that didn't necessarily turn out well. We saw the 4-year project at the front of Epcot just be totally undermined by considerations that simply weren't made in the design phase, and obviously with Moana. So we have just seen a lot of things at the Walt Disney Company and Walt Disney Imagineering that just necessarily haven't been consistent with its illustrious past.
So the things that I want to add here, and Vash, you've done an excellent job. And of course, if you want to see what we're talking about as far as the design just generally not being impressive, if you go look at our video called "Why is the Water Brown?" Or at least that's what's in the thumbnail. And we're not pointing out that the water is any different color than what it should be. We're pointing out some of the design reasons why it's much more apparent that the water is brown now. And you would think that is a minor detail, but Disney is about the details. I don't think anyone who is a supporter of Disney here would disagree on the idea that Disney is about the details. But what I want to look at really quick before we wrap this up is the details of what she is saying here and the tone in which she is saying it. The world was trying to understand the impact of all of these things. Imagineers were under incredible pressure, talent reductions. This to me reads like an excuse. Correct. If she left the company and it was on a weekend and they haven't named her replacement, it sounds like, by the way, the chief creative officer of the company right now is Bruce Vaughn. Is that his name?
Bruce Vaughn. Yes, that's correct.
And it sounds like he is going to be in charge of Imagineering, at least for now. They didn't use the words interim, but they also didn't name a name for who is going to be there. And it looks like a lot of this is talking about all of the reasons that she was prevented from doing a good job. I'm not saying that this woman was fired, but I would be very surprised if she wasn't fired.
No, and you can kind of see what in kind of her mind what the bigger what the emphasis should have been placed on right here. And it's not necessarily, creative works, but look at this reckoning on race, the political divide in America. This is where she really wanted to be, not necessarily the head of Imagineering. And so I kind of see her as almost like a Jennifer Lee in a way. Obviously, we've done the D-Files, which are a spectacular series of articles being done by Alan Ng over there on Film Threat right there. I believe part 4 is out, so please go ahead after this video. Definitely read up on that for sure. But you can see right there, after John Lasseter's removal from the head of Walt Disney Animation and Pixar, Jennifer Lee was brought in specifically on the animation side in order to transform that whole culture, right? And this is kind of what Barbara Bosa is talking about when she's in her resignation letter right here. She's talking about transforming the culture inside, right? She's talking about this was to challenge the norm and to be far more sensitive and do all these kind of things. That to me, I think, is what Disney was after when hiring her. Not necessarily for architectural expertise, but her ability to change the culture within Imagineering for the worse.
When you have a culture of excellence and you seek to change it in ways that are not associated with that excellence, I don't think you can take for granted that some of that excellence might come from the makeup of the people that you're trying to push out.
Right.
Well, that being said, we've obviously ventured into some shaky territory here with our tyrannical overlords. If you could like this video, more than ever, we would appreciate that. And if you could leave a comment, that also helps. Plus, we like to hear from you and hear what your opinions are. And of course, if you could, on this video in particular, if you haven't subscribed and you're watching a few of these, maybe consider subscribing to That Park Plays for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.